Friday. It's my first day. I don't have any guests, but I'm going to get down there and see who we can meet and see who we can get on the jar.
Jackie and I are definitely getting ahead on the cities now, and so that we don't run into this hiccup again where there's nobody responding.
Yeah, it's like that. We've tried a lot of stuff with Grand Coulee, and
Yeah.
is everybody, like, we've got so many emails from Olympia, so that's what's going to happen. But yeah, and then it's kind of a big goose egg on Grand Coulee.
Well, that's all right.
Nobody lives there.
Everything happens for a reason.
Nobody lives there.
It's going to be
That's great.
beautiful, though. It looks like a really great nature spot.
Yeah, I really want to know real quick, Ken, are you using an atlas to get to these places? Like, is that a big map that you?
That's a giant.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like, it's very old school.
My car for years.
Old school. He's just using the
Yes,
atlas.
I love
did
that.
that once too. It was awesome.
I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna hit the road tonight. As the day break, I'll reach your town, alright. Yeah.
Nice evening drive down Main Street, Coulee, USA. Here we go. I really look forward to opening the jar with another interesting person. I mean, I'm so blessed right now. Good background. Why don't let's get started.
Yeah,
I
why
think,
not?
you know,
Want me
I'm
to
really
pull?
curious to see where the jar takes you. So again, have a look, and if you like the question, pass it on, and I'll read it for the audience. Should we have blind faith?
Sometimes I think it's necessary. Yeah, I think you've got to have faith against maybe what you're seeing in front of you at that time. You're not going to believe in yourself if you don't have that blind faith and hold yourself accountable by that faith to be able to reach those goals that you have in life. Like, you have to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to reach that goal even though all these obstacles are in front of me right now. That says, no, you won't reach that goal. You've got to blindly say, yes, I will, because all those obstacles will disappear as long as you have that faith. Those obstacles will be knocked down eventually. You just got to believe. Like, I didn't believe that I was going to be able to move on after having my child with the dad that didn't want her. You know,
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, I didn't want to believe those things. Those were the curse of what life was trying to make me believe those negative things, and I didn't allow it. I had blind faith that I would get through it, that my daughter's life was worth it, and I was going to have her no matter what anybody said. That was blind faith. And here I am today, and she's the best thing in my life. So.
She's gonna, yeah. Well, sometimes we get sent miracles. Right?
Oh, yes. She saved my life, for sure, in many ways.
Oh, this is kind of fun. Do you plan what you will do each day?
Heck no. I don't like plans. I don't like pressure. If anything, I kind of live on the edge. As far as I've always running late, I just look at it as I like to live on the edge, apparently, because I'm always rushing somewhere or whatever. I don't like making plans because then that puts pressure on my day, and so no.
And then it's not fun, yeah.
Then it's not fun. I like living life a little more spontaneously, and if it works out, it works out. That's why if somebody ends up canceling on me, well, no big deal. Just make a different plan some other time. It's not like so crushing.
It's mind-boggling to me because I've spent the last 20 years on a plan.
See, and I know
on a corporate schedule, in a way, right? Really, a lot of that is driven by by the job, and especially a corporate job, right?
Uh-huh.
And every day was planned. I had sometimes 2 plans in the same time, 2 meetings or even 3 meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I'd open up my calendar and go, "What the heck is going on? How can I be in
work
all these
is
places?"
Different,
yeah,
but
okay, work.
In
Yeah,
life, no, I hate having plans outside of it. I mean, you do have to have plans, regardless. You have to have
at least hear
places to go.
The other Corrine was good. I mean, Jesus, man, drug addiction, homeless, mom of 2 kids, different dads, on income, housing assistance. But couldn't be a nicer, more lovely person.
No,
My curiosity killed me. I was like, what is up with that van you got there?
I just was at the small restaurant over here.
Yeah, PK's. I was
Yeah,
waiting
PK's.
on you.
Oh, not so bad. Yeah, thank you so much, man. You know, 90 days ago, I was doing something I hated. And today I'm doing something I love. And it's turned out I thought I would love it. I thought I'd like it. I hoped I would like this. And it turns out I do. I'm having a blast. I'm having an absolute blast. And it's not easy by no stretch. And it's certainly a little bit of, there are some, it's hard to listen that well for that long. And it's definitely hard to go through some of the emotional part that the people are going through when they talk. I mean, Alex yesterday, clear trauma, and not easy to sit across from that.
Okay, Jar, you gotta quit this.
Alex, what does forgiveness mean to you?
That's a big word. Forgiveness. Loaded questions. I'm telling you, the jar has a power here, Ken.
I think
You've got a powerful thing going on here. And I've been to the place of having to forgive for myself.
Yeah.
And not necessarily giving them the forgiveness.
It's taken me a long time to understand this as well.
Yeah, it's something you have to go through a lot of trials and a lot of tribulations and a lot of different hurts and different forms of hurts and different forms of pain. Because, I mean, all right, let's just get into it. Let's real people, real conversations, right?
Everybody wants to hear the real part, because
when you grow up and 1 minute everything is perfectly fine and your childhood is, in your opinion, just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day you wake up and everything's changing. And you're being told that you have to pack up your house and you and your mom are leaving and your mom and your dad aren't going to be together anymore. And you're young, you don't really understand why. You don't grasp any concepts until you realize it's because of one person's actions that were absolutely devastating. And it changes your entire life from that point on.
Okay, on my way to see Steve Fisher. I met Steve when I first got into Coulee City. Of course, where you meet everybody in Coulee City at Cooligans, the bar, come restaurant, come pool hall, come karaoke lounge, and the center of the universe for me in the last few days. And it's been an amazing place that the jar took me and planted me there for a lot of time. And it's just an absolutely beautiful day. We just had this crazy miracle snowflake shower, like a sun shower, except it was snowflakes. And I've just never seen anything like that in my life. So here we go, on our way to see Steve, and let's see where the jar takes us. That works out.
Well, this is kind of pretty interesting because I'm a nobody in life to anybody except my wife, and I'm surprised you want to do this with me, because I'm just a freaking weirdo on the road, man. I'm just, huh?
You're just a dude.
that's what this is all about. I mean, for me,
I just,
the idea has always been to the tagline's real people, real conversations, right? And it's interesting that came, just kind of fell through, like through the filter of process and words and slogans and chit chatting, and that just became what it was about. And that's really, it's not a tagline. It's really what we want to do is talk to real people.
Let's talk here for a bit. All right, before we get started, thanks for coming over.
Yeah.
Ken, it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be much more pleasurable later after we're done with this.
Yeah, exactly. It is a little bit tense though too. I'd say
I'm not tense at all.
I'm not tense, but I mean, just it's an intense. I hope it's intense.
It'll be fine.
I hope the jar takes us to a fun place.
I'm sure that it will.
Do our actions today end today, or do they have lasting impact?
They have lasting impacts.
Yeah.
Everybody's does. Everybody's does. Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think I think it's close to what you talked about before with the everything's living and has an energy.
Everything.
And so if our actions are some sort of an energy, then certainly it reverberates through everything.
Through everything. Absolutely.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I think people forget that.
It's an easy thing to forget because it's not a religious thing. It's a spiritual thing. There's a big difference between spirituality and religion. There's just too many things that religion doesn't cover that spirituality does. Did I say that proper?
Perfectly.
Yeah, and so you got to get off you don't have to get off the religion. You can be religious as you want. But there's a lot deeper subject when you're talking spirituality because that's everything.
Yes.
Everything's spiritual. Everything. In one way or another, it comes back to spirituality. So
let's keep going. You're beautiful. You're getting on a roll now.
that's what I believe anyway. Oh, let's go way back here.
Yeah, get in there. Get in there. Well, certainly the jar is doing its usual thing.
Okay.
And it's giving questions that seem how aligned and somehow seem in a vein.
Gotcha.
And certainly to your strength, I think. What does karma mean to you?
Karma.
What does karma mean to you?
Karma is a pretty weird word, karma. I've... this is kind of strange. I personally have always tried to do good for everybody. Somebody needs a drawer, fix a drawer. Don't charge them, and put sit on me. But you know what? It makes me feel good. A lot of that stuff in my life has happened. It's like I'm going to help. Like for instance, the fire. I'm not going to just get out because I need to. I'm going to help people who I can help them get out. It's like, and I feel really good about helping people. Isn't that what life's about?
You'd never think this guy would have this kind of, I don't know, introspective kind of views of life. But he was, he said, when Ben, closed, I basically did all this stuff, ran back into the shop, closed up my cabinets, looked at my tools and said, I love you. Thank you for getting me this far in life. You won't be here when I come back. He really had this conversation. And, you can imagine it. And he says, I closed up the shop and, hopped on the bike and went. Interesting.
Yeah, everything does hold energy, and material possessions are meaningful to
They have
individuals in their own,
especially
specific reason.
Things that he carved life through his hands. He carved life into cabinetry and everything else. So those tools were, he felt like they were part of him. It's kind of cool. And he doesn't look like that guy, right? You look at him.
That's what the jazz about, man. You're pulling out.
People surprise you. They have many layers. Every individual has many layers to their life and their story. So
yeah, here's a couple that's going to hear each other answer some pretty powerful questions and share their views, which even most of us don't ever think about these questions, let alone, have to articulate them on the spot and then in front of your spouse. So they know each other really well, and I think they're gonna learn something from each other. Well, that was another amazing time with another great guest, and the added bonus, along with Steve, was having his wife Kim just sit there and.
What can I do for you?
You can go to sleep. That's what you can do. I have a feeling she's got some stuff. You're resonating with some people listening. You've got some like this guy.
You will not believe this card.
Interesting. Is learning to accept ourselves related to learning to accept others?
Yes. Yes, we did talk about this. I'm not sure what question I answered, but if you don't love yourself, you don't love others.
So acceptance
is harder. But if you love yourself, you can see the differences in other people. I love odd and different people. I love those people that are hard to get along with, because I will work my arse off to get them to like me, because I appreciate a different soul. It's one thing to be normal and perfect. It's something else to be flawed and have people see beyond your flaws. Does that make sense? Because if you can love you, you can love others, and you can accept those flaws. I have some friends that are some of the hardest people to know and love, but I love them. I adore them, and I cannot live without them. And so, yes, absolutely. If you accept yourself, you will easily accept others. But if you don't love yourself, it can be a tough journey.
This is, it's an interesting part of the book. The questions are really around my questions in the book, right? And this idea about self-love is coming up quite hard and often. And Corrine just was really all about self-love first.
Yes.
She really shared a pretty powerful testimony around it, right?
Yes.
Around self-love. And it's great, because I said, wait till you read the book, because you're gonna love it, because it's, that's the idea. We're passing by each other, like strangers every day, and we're missing opportunities to have these kind of sharings and to get them. And it's just so powerful. And I've just spent 4 hours with them, and it passed like liquid time. Hope you join us on the jar, and I hope you can feel what I feel and see what I see. And it's just an amazing journey, and I'm glad you're along with us. Stream the Jar podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts, or better yet, join myself and the Jar for a conversation in your city. Okay, how does this thing work? Let's see what is going on. I've got to figure this thing out. Hey!